All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here at Listings to Leads with Ye. Oh, wait, hold on. Are you with us? All right. Anyways, we're going to be covering the listing presentation with Listings to Leads. If you are in the mastermind group, you might have seen. Actually, it's a great comment here from this morning. This guy, John, got a $1.6 million listing in South Florida. He says he's not a luxury agent, but he is now.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's why I tell people, the difference between a luxury agent and a regular agent really is just the price of the property, right? Dressed properly. But I would hope that every listing presentation you go on is done at the highest level with the highest prep, right? Everything just dialed in as much as possible. Because if you do that, you don't need to be intimidated between a $500,000 home and $1 million home and a $2 million home and a $3 million home. The people are all the same. And you're going to find people that have money are usually pretty cool people. So, you don't need to feel stressed or
Intimidated.
you don't need to feel intimidated walking into somebody's house just because maybe they're at a higher level than you are socioeconomically. So, considering yourself a luxury agent or not a luxury agent, although I will say, and I haven't seen it yet, you said David's got a $26 million listing.
On his Facebook. Yeah. I have to go reach out. I don't know if it's his or his borrowed.
Yeah. So, well, he wouldn't post a listing that wasn't his. I know. He's one of these referral based agents. Anyways, the guy that I got into real estate with 20 some
Fingers
years
crossed.
ago.
Yeah.
Pardon
If
me?
it is a $29 million listing, people, I am contacting him. I'm going to get a full video tour. All right.
Yeah, we should go
Like,
down there. Definitely.
yeah, definitely. Can't wait if
Yeah.
that's the case. So we'll
Now
keep you posted.
here's the bad thing about luxury listing. The worst thing about luxury listings, besides the fact that they can take a while to sell, although 1.6 million in South Florida.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's not like a $5 million listing, right? Like a $5 million listing could take 6 months to sell. You never know. And it can be kind of expensive to, the photography is going to be a lot of money. The video is going to be a lot of money. You're probably not going to have to stage it. And if it does have to be staged, the seller will pay for that. Typically, especially at that price point, they got the money for it. 1.6, I wouldn't say that that's luxury, depending on where it is. But it's definitely a great listing for by all means. And there was 2 points to this I want to talk about. One is the key was a 100-point presentation. All right, what we're going to be talking about today. Laser printer that the homeowner, followed as I performed the flip, kind of a funny way to spell it, the flip deck on my computer.
Yeah.
So he had the flip deck, I don't care, whatever you want to call it, fine with me. So we'll walk through that as well. And I'll walk you through how to present it in such a way that you're going to get more people just agreeing with you to list the property as a natural byproduct of your presentation.
Right.
But he also said right here, and I love this idea. I just love anything that most people don't talk about. All right. At the close, he mentioned about reverse prospecting. And does everybody here know what reverse prospecting is? That's when, whether you're looking through the MLS or you're going to call and talk to buyer's agents in the area to let them know about the listing and the fact that they likely have, or they do have, buyers that meet the profile of that property. And I watch and see a lot of, videos and listing presentations. And that is something you very rarely hear a agent talk about in the listing presentation. And I think that's a fabulous thing to talk about, because these are buyers that are active, ready buyers, but they may not be looking all the time every single day. Maybe they're on vacation, maybe they're busy, maybe something is up, so they're not paying attention right now. So to say to the homeowner in a listing presentation that you're going to actively reverse prospect to make sure that all of these buyers that are currently in market know about your property for the reason I just said. Some may not be paying attention, whatever it is. It's just another differentiator. We want every possible advantage.
that
We
you
want to
have.
make sure that,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly right. So this is in the mastermind group. If you are in the mastermind group, you can take a look at it. It was right under Brian Matheson's post. So if you saw this one from Brian yesterday, in fact, he did message me a little bit, and I mentioned this last night, but I'm sure there are people tonight that were not here last night. So I was hoping he would pop in here. But last night he said they ended up going to 8 homes, spoke to 3 people who are still considering selling. Freaking awesome, right? 3 out of 8 they spoke to.
Wow.
And all 3 are still thinking about selling. And what he took was the expired, right? The listing presentation for expired homes. I've also got, and we're going to walk through this tonight. I have to figure out how to share this in the mastermind group. I think it's already there, but it is a cover letter.
Yeah.
I got one for the listing presentation and I got one for the expired. And on that cover letter is an image of this. But here's the cool thing. There's a QR code on it.
I know you're going to say that.
Right? Check that out. That QR code. Mm-hmm. So when you scan it, it's going to bring up in fact, give me 1 second. It's going to bring up the flip book. So, delivering in fact, right here, let me bring it over. And if anybody wants to scan that, feel free.
That's the whole point of that, is just when you click that QR code, it goes right to that flip book and you can show them how beautiful that presents. You 80% there, maybe 90.
Yeah, probably 90%. Here we go. 1 second. Let me take that to 200. Let me try 300. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring that over. There we go. So if anybody, now it might be a little easier to scan. If anybody wants to go ahead and scan that. I love, how like TikTok and Instagram, there's a whole thing of, what do they call that? Like when you watch something that's very smooth and eat like taffy in a machine, right? What are oh my God, what do the kids call that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
This right here is that, because when you scan it, satisfying.
Yeah.
Satisfying. That's like a big word with kids, right? Oh my God, it's so satisfying. And when you scan that QR code and this comes up right there, and it's the flip book, right? Where every page is like literally their home.
Yeah, it's all mobile optimized. It looks beautiful.
Oh yeah. And it's so satisfying. It really is.
Watering.
It what?
You're so satisfied talking about candies. Mouth watering.
I know. See, let me get that. See if that count coming in the camera a little bit.
Yeah, that's difficult.
You kind of get the idea though, right? The single property website, the virtual tour, just looks so good. And now it's on their phone. Now it's like literally on their phone. So you went and you could actually send a cover letter just to an expired homeowner, right? I could send this cover letter to a dummy listing a demo listing in my account to a farm. So there's a lot of opportunity, not just in a listing presentation, to get this in front of people. So I will try to get that into the mastermind group a little bit later. What I might do is upload it as either a PDF or a JPEG, and then you can take it, throw it into ChatGPT, ask for a plain text version of it, and then you can take it and drop it into whatever program that you want. Make a great email. It'd make a great cover letter. It'd make a great letter on its own. And there's one version for expired that's a little bit different than the other version that I've got for the standard listing presentation.
I think having a mug for expired is a great idea as well.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. I don't have that slide deck up.
Yeah. Because now you can have the first page printed out with the mug. You can door knock it, door knock. That would be very cool. Here's a mug. People are like, what?
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to do that cover letter, and if you've got the wherewithal, right, let me just bring it over here. Because it's the same image, essentially. That's on the coffee mug that is on the letter right there.
Yeah.
So once I got that, the cover, excuse me, once I get the image of the listing presentation cover, well, that was hard to say. Throwing it onto a coffee cup at Mailbox Power or Walgreens or Zazzle, maybe, right? There's a few different places that you can order these kind of coffee mugs where you can customize them. Yeah, just anything to be a little bit different, right? To stand out. Everybody else is calling them. In fact, Neil, you and I were talking today, and you're not the first person, Neil, to say this to me recently, which is trying to call homeowners, trying to call expireds, trying to, just cold call people is getting more and more difficult, right?
Remember Brian Mathis said when he called this lady, she said, "You're the fourth person that called me." Remember?
Oh yeah, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, they get really mad after this, like.
Especially on an expired listing or a FSBO. On the FSBO, if you're going to call them up with the "you're stupid" routine, right? They don't like that. So don't call a FSBO homeowner up and telling them how stupid they are. You're not gonna get that listing later. Let's put it that way. We actually did the FSBO call this morning, where we walked through how to approach a FSBO between the landing pages and the listing presentation. So you can find that on YouTube. Ask support, get into the mastermind group if you need the link for that. So let's go to listings and make sure to let us know where you're coming in from. Let us know if you have any questions, any wins, any successes, any complaints or feedback in general. Put it into the chat. Let us know. I'm still smiling without my braces, so that is good. Oh my God, you don't even know. For the last year and a half, I've hated smiling because, all of that. It's like, you're not 15 years old, but at the same time, it's even as an adult, it's a little self-conscious with braces.
Right.
All right.
Well,
so
give you all the credit.
I'm sorry?
Give you all the credit. It's not that easy.
Yeah. Well, and then eating. Oh my God, especially a Reuben sandwich. Anyway, let's not go there. So, in fact, tomorrow I'm going to go get a Reuben sandwich because it'll be the first time I had a Reuben in like a year and a half that I could just enjoy. Oh, I'm already getting hungry. In fact, tonight I'm going to have sushi for the first time in forever. Yeah, sushi and braces don't mix. Enough about my dietary predilections. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through how to add a custom presentation like what you saw here. We've got the general ones in your account that you can just use off the fly, which we'll get to in a minute. But I believe with John, it sounded like he created one specifically for that property, similar to the ones that we got over here, where every single image on that entire presentation is of their property. So in Listings to Leads, on the listings dashboard right here, click the green button. Now you have to do it manual. I apologize. It's not on the MLS. It's not listed yet. And you got really 4 choices. So again, it's called status. It's a drop down right there on the top left, status. And just select either listing presentation, select for sale by owner. So if there's a FSBO near you and maybe you've talked to the FSBO homeowner in the past and you offered them a free set of marketing tools similar to the ones that you use to market properties with, there could be a whole host of reasons, but you can create this exact flip book and PDF for the FSBO as well. And then we got FSBO draft, which is just one step down from FSBO. We talk about that in our FSBO training. And then expired. In fact, we got canceled here. Ooh, we got to set this up for canceled. I can't believe we don't have that set up for canceled. I didn't even notice that before. Anyways, listing presentation, FSBO, expired. All 3 of those will have have the fields for the name of the homeowner, the email of the homeowner, and then the phone number. And you're going to see here, once I add that property and I add one photo, so please go take a photo. In the listing presentation, invariably, you're going to say and mean that you are different from other agents. Let's start it off that way. So let's start off strong. Let's start off big. Yeah, Neil, right. Yeah, Neil says cancel listing would be great to add. Yeah, Neil, we'll do that. It's already there. Then, all we got to do is just add in the name, email, and phone number fields.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else needs to change. It's right there. So yeah, I can't believe. Anyways, you see right here. So prepared for John Doe. So that's the homeowner's name in this case, and it's got their property address. Nope, we're not using the phone number. Here is the expired. All right. So now you'll see here the complete marketing plan to get your expired home sold. And all of them, they flip through the whole thing. And then we got the FSBO, the complete marketing plan for sale by owner. And so this would be something I don't know that I would come out of the gate with this to a FSBO homeowner, because it's essentially you trying to, this may not be the best use of the term, like mansplain, right? When somebody's trying to tell you what to do and you didn't ask them.
Right. You step on it a little bit too early.
Yeah, they didn't really ask you what you think about their marketing at this point. For a FSBO, you just got to get their attention and their respect, right? And again, watch the FSBO training that we did this morning. It's on YouTube. If you go to Listings to Leads YouTube channel, you'll click live, and then just look down, and you'll find the most recent one for FSBO was actually today. So you want to lead with value with a FSBO homeowner. With everybody, you want to lead with value. But whereas expired and a regular listing presentation, the 100-point home marketing plan would be that value. For a FSBO, it's not. So for FSBO, it's a little bit different in how you're going to use this. You're going to use this a little bit later in the process. At least that's my opinion. Yee, what say you?
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Okay, good. Why'd I go to dashboard? So once you've got the listing in your account, regardless of the status, right? Listing presentation, expired, or FSBO, it will appear on your listing dashboard like normal. So you'll, all my listings here, and over here in the drop down, I got listing presentation. Now here's a really cool thing. I don't think a lot of people know this. If you get the listing, which you will, right? 100%, maybe not 100, but close enough. Don't delete it and re-enter it later, even if it's coming in from a data feed. I say just change it right to just listed once you got that, or coming soon. You see that coming soon at the top? And if you do have listings coming in from a data feed, you can actually merge them together. There's a way to merge them together. And then what I would also do is upload the professional photos, right? Mm-hmm. So once you get all the professional photos for any listing, just click the edit button right here. And I know from working with Yee and others that a lot of people don't really think about this. So when you click on the edit, right under the listing address, there's view, edit, and checklist. So I click on edit and I go to photos. So here I can just upload all my professional photos, and I'm telling you, it makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference. I'm not going to have professional photos for the listing presentation, obviously. So just go with your phone. If you can find an image online that's usable, that you can use. I would not take the previous listing agent's photos. That's almost idiotic. Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. Right? If it's an expired listing, or maybe you just found it when it was listed 3 or 4 years ago, and you find that listing, because then they're just going to go, well, why not just call that listing agent? So I would go take my own photo with my phone or camera if I'm a photographer. Worst case, you could use Google Street View, but I just want to have something a little bit nicer if possible. But regardless, once you do have the listing, you can come here and just upload all your professional photos. It's going to make everything look so much better than those photos that come over from the MLS. It's one of those things where, you know, how video on your phone 5 or 6 years ago or photos were so great back then, because you know you get the new iPhone 11. All right, remember, like iPhone 10, iPhone 11, and you're looking at the photos, like, oh my God, it's so great, especially compared to iPhone 8. And then although to be honest, now that I've got whatever I've got, I haven't really noticed a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
Or two maybe, but like from 3 to 4 and then 4, you know, in the earlier years, man, every time a new iPhone came out, the photos were so much better. And it would be the same thing with this. You may not even realize how the MLS photos look until you upload the professionals. And then you're gonna be like, holy crap, I can't believe I didn't do that before. And then while you're here, right, video and 3D tour. So you can add a lot of great media. But again, so we got the flip book. So, and this is where you're going to find it for all of those statuses. So again, listing presentation like this one here, the expired like this one, they're all going to be right. All you got to do is click the property address for every one of them, right? So each one of these, again, click the property address. And then you are going to see right under this, right under the address, right under the property website virtual tour, that download listing presentation, that's the PDF. The flip book, that's what we've been looking at. And we're going to go through here in a minute on how to dominate. Let that come up here. There we go. And then all of them have a landing page. And so the landing page can be really cool. So one use of the landing page in a like before the listing presentation comes up. And Neil, you know, we were talking about this a little earlier today, Neil. So we've got the pre-listing, the pre-listing packet, which is a 4-page summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 4-page summary one. This one, though, when they download it, I haven't downloaded this forever, but this will let me send, you know, and I could even attach the QR code to the landing page instead of the flip book. And that way, when they scan the QR code, and they download this, then I'll be notified. I'll know exactly when. In fact, maybe I'll show that today. So there we go. Like, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Yeah. Every home.
Every page. Yeah. Well, the thing is how thorough, like we have outlined the whole, you know, selling process.
Yep, exactly. Okay, let's go through how to present this in a listing presentation. This will be a bit of an abbreviated version. I think you'll get the point of it. And especially there's a transition between showing the marketing itself. And then when we transition to the statuses, I'm going to walk you through that because I think people can not get it and it can actually maybe not be as powerful as it could be otherwise. But if you do it the way I'm going to talk about, and if you got a better way, tell me. But I'm going to teach you a way that a client taught me. And he said when he presents this way, he gets people just nodding their head all the way through. And so I want to walk you through that so that when you're doing your next listing presentation, either to an expired homeowner, to a regular homeowner who wants to list their home with you, or to a FSBO at the proper time. Let's just walk through it real briefly. Again, you could mail the cover letter or, you know, this right here ahead of time. You could bring it with you, right? And it could just be part of the presentation that, you know, stays with them after you leave. So I would totally do that. So just real quickly, so that we're all on the same page. Even if I present with the flip book, I would bring a cover page like this. That way they can scan the QR code and go to the flip book or the landing page. And I would bring a hard copy bound of the PDF version of this. So I do that because I want to make sure I got something to leave behind that's going to sit on their kitchen countertop. That's going to sit on their, you know, the dresser in the bedroom, whatever. It's going to sit they're not going to throw it away. So if they're not going to throw it away, they're going to keep me in mind, and I will most likely get that listing.
Right. So that one pager with the QR code would be the best, because they can constantly, you know how the homeowners are. They click that QR code and that flipbook goes, ooh, they will keep doing that.
They will probably send it to people they know. They'll be like, holy crap, check this out.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not going to say it's going to go viral, but it's definitely going to be something that they're probably going to show to other people because it's right on their phone. And if you got this laying out and they got friends coming over, right? Coming over to hang out, whatever. And this is just sitting there on the coffee table, right? The friends start kind of thumbing through it, you know, seeing your branding everywhere, and like, wow, this looks pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Maybe I'll start going to the lawyer's office and start, you know, actually go to the divorce lawyer's office and just leave a copy laying around. Yeah. Robin, great question. I don't know if I completely get it. Let me see. I haven't used the data feed in case they don't allow. Yeah, Robin, can you maybe rephrase that question? Yeah. No, a data feed will only bring in your listings. So I can't use a data feed to borrow listings from somebody else.
Right.
That's what you're going to use the grab feature for, or, you know, hopefully you don't have to upload it manually, but, you know, some people may have to. Typically, though, you can grab the listing, you know, especially if the MLS syndicated it out. So, Robin, if that didn't quite answer your question, let me know. If you need to go support or get to the mastermind group, and I can help you out there. But for the 100-point home marketing plan, the complete marketing plan to get your home sold, like, let's just go to a regular one. All right, here we go.
Expired.
Yeah, the other one was expired, but let me just use the standard one. And then you'll adjust it for the expired. You'll adjust it for the FSBO as needed.
Yeah.
So, right, we're going to pull it out, and you're going to say something to the lines of, I prepared our 100-point home marketing plan. This plan was benchmarked against the top teams and top agents in the country. And then from that, we developed this plan to get homes in Folsom sold as fast as possible for top dollar. So to me, that would be a little bit of the intro, right? Again, the whole idea is, and it's true because Listings to Leads has done that for you. So what we have done is we have benchmarked this against as many people, as many examples, as much as we could possibly do to give you what I consider to be, and what a lot of the feedback is, one of the best marketing plans out there. And it is. So when you say that, you didn't do it. All right. Neil, Robin, Twyla, other people on this call, you didn't do it. You paid us and we did it. So you can make that statement and understand that it's completely true. All right. Now we're going to go through it a little bit. A quick introduction. And, you know, the basis of what we're going to do is create a marketing platform around your home. So it's not just a single property website, not just a virtual tour, not just an ad or a post or an email, but an entire marketing platform around your property. And they'll be able to see some things. You can point them out briefly, but you'll be going through that in a little bit more detail here in a minute. We're going to start off with paid Facebook advertising and paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram. And we got different proven ads that are guaranteed to generate lead. I hate to say guaranteed, but that are proven, all right, to generate leads from Facebook and Instagram. Time-tested ads, right? It does say guaranteed to generate results, and they do. And you can say they typically get, depending on how much money you spend, but these will be seen by thousands and potentially tens of thousands of people on Facebook and Instagram. Now, we don't even mention in here about the TikToks and the Reels and the stories that we do the training on all the time. So it's going to be even more than that. Then we mentioned about social media marketing. So these are paid ads, right? Just in case you didn't catch that. Paid ads. These are just social media marketing. So we're going to talk about how the fact that we'll create a beautiful social media post and put them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Pinterest, Google, right? You can connect to Google My Business if you didn't know. different social media posts for every status, different posts for each platform. Again, time-tested descriptions and beautiful custom design templates. We're going to get your property. I'm sorry?
That's a very thorough marketing step by
Oh,
step.
God, I'm rolling on page 3 or 4 at this.
I know.
All right. We're going to get your home on YouTube. All right. One of the #1 sites in the world, the #1 video site in the world, #2 most visited site. So #1 video, #2 most visited, right next to Google. And it's going to be great SEO. A little bit of a backstory in this. So what we do is we create a like a video slideshow. And even if you do property videos and other things like that, I would still do this one with listings to leads, because they typically end up on page 1 of Google. Now, not a lot of people will search for the home address, right? So when people search the home address, but the homeowner will, because they're going to want to see your marketing. And so having this video come up on page 1 of Google, along with anything else that happens to come up, is going to be good for you. And plus, sometimes the really interested buyers may try to do a little research on the property, and I wouldn't mind if they found me a little bit more often. So I want to be on page 1 of Google for the address as much as possible. All right. We're going to do print marketing. So print marketing is trusted, is known to be a trustworthy source by 56% of the people. So we've got items like postcards, door hangers, we've got letters. And the reason for this is we want to let your neighbors know about your property being for sale, because oftentimes it is the neighbors or other people in the area who know people that want to move into the area because they just love coming here. They love visiting their friends or their family, right? They're coming through. And so it's amazing how often somebody in the area may turn somebody else on to the fact that your home is for sale. And here's the thing, not everybody that's a buyer is always active. And so that's why there's a lot of things that we're going to do here that aren't just like a paid ad that where people are going to go actively find it. We're doing things that are like hooks in the water, because people are just kind of doing their thing. And we want to make sure that we are seen as many places as possible, as often as possible.
Right, because buyers in and out of the market, you just never know. So we're doing all these different strategies. We catch at different times.
Yeah. Or they may be the type of person on Facebook where they're just on and off real quickly. That's how I am for the most part, to be honest.
Or they could be your old database, right?
Well, yeah, and that's why we have all the different tools that we want to make sure that we're using.
Yeah.
All right, we got email marketing. We got a beautiful email dedicated to your home that we're going to send out to our database. And that could be part of the thing with reverse prospecting. So if you're going to email other agents in the area information about the listing that you have, it could be this email right here that you send to them. We got emails and social media posts for you, the seller. Now, please keep this in mind. If you state this in a listing presentation, you're going to do so well. It's going to be amazing. These tools for the seller, right? The social media post and the e-flyer, so many people get so many great leads. Dustin Fox, right? Top agent, top team, been with listings to leads for like 14 years. He came to me sometime back, and he's like, Scott, he goes, I've been with listings to leads for probably 8 years at that point. And he goes, I kind of knew there were those tools for the sellers, but I didn't really pay attention to them. Like, who cares? Until he said a homeowner, a seller, asked if he had anything they could put on their Facebook page. And he told me, he said, Scott, I remember the fact that there was something in listings to leads. So I went in there, I found it, I sent it to them, didn't think twice about it. I got a listing, I got a buyer from sending it to one homeowner. So here, my point here is this, and I've had other clients get dozens of leads, and these are pretty decent leads because they know the homeowner, they're friends. And if you mention this inside of the listing presentation, when it comes to sending it to them when it's just listed or coming soon, they're going to be excited because they'll remember, or, if you go through our training, we talk about calling the seller up when you send it. But so just mention it in the listing presentation. All right. Again, somebody likely knows someone looking to buy in the area, and we don't want to leave any stones unturned, especially in this market. In this market, we need to do everything humanly possible. And it's true.
Yeah, no, this is essentially their not only the listing presentation, but also their action plan. All the things they have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Next up is short form videos. Again, this is another one of those things where it is going to help find people that are those buyers that are in and out of the market. Maybe they're not active right now. Another great thing about short form video, and try to remember this for your listing presentation. So for those of you on the call or listening to the recording, take a note, take this as a note. And I got this from Jordan Cohen. The book is called The Agent's Edge. And it goes like this. Somebody on Instagram or TikTok that sees your video, they may be looking for a home. And I think he uses the term, like Brentwood, right? So they're looking for a home in Brentwood at $1 million. And then your West Hollywood home comes up and it's at $1.2 million. In the MLS search or on Zillow, the IDX, whatever, they would never see your property. They would never see that 1.2 million in West Hollywood because they're looking for $1 million or less in Brentwood, which is nearby. But all of a sudden, they see your video on TikTok or they see your short form video on Instagram or Facebook, and they go, wow, that's a really cool property. And it's just right next door to where I really want to be, but man, I love West Hollywood as well. And maybe it's the same price. It doesn't matter. The price part doesn't matter, but it's the ability to reach people that don't have you in their filters or don't have your listing in their filters. So we are going to, so it's not about just tap dancing on TikTok. There's a reason why we're going to do the short form videos, because they're going to find people that are in and around. In and around your location, in and around your price point, and it's going to get this in front of them and attract more of those people.
It's like play into their algorithm.
Yeah, exactly right. Because they know people, maybe they're looking at homes in West Hollywood, and so the algorithm knows, well, oh, these people they're clicking on posts or clicking on ads maybe.
They might be just in West Hollywood.
Yeah, right. And so just extrapolate that for your area. But if you remember how to phrase that a little bit, like I just shared with you, and again, that's from Jordan Cohen's book, The Agent's Edge, you're going to sound a lot smarter to those homeowners versus everybody else will walk through going, yeah, we tap dance on TikTok at your home, but they don't tell them why or what the biggest benefit of that is.
Right.
All right. We do full screen and standard virtual tours and single property websites that are absolutely beautiful, mobile responsive. We're going to have your professional photos. We're going to have videos. We're going to have area videos. We're going to have, we're going to have everything on there. 3D tours, right? Beautiful, mobile responsive, gorgeous. We got listing flyers, and do note, we got a custom domain just for you. As you can see here, 1200 Riley Street at .thebestlisting.com. Make sure now you can customize this domain. So when you're adding the listing presentation, one of the form fields, it'll auto populate. And so it may auto populate like mine did here, right? 1200 Riley STR .thebestlisting.com. But when I'm going through it, for example, I might want to take out the R. So that it reads, so it's a little cleaner, or maybe just take out ST altogether and have 1200 Riley.thebestlisting.com. That listing has been in my account for like a decade, and it's in so many places that if I were to change that URL, there'd be so many broken links everywhere. But yeah, does that make sense for everybody? So highlight that URL. We got world's best listing, America's best listing, beautiful home, the best listing.
Yeah, tons of
so many
URLs.
Yeah. So tax IVR sign writers on the yard sign in front of your house. We are going to have the ability for people to either send a text or scan a QR code to get the mobile responsive virtual tour immediately sent to them. And this is unlike 90% of the agents in the area. I'm sure, Mr. Homeowner, if you've driven around, you don't see this kind of a thing on most yard signs. And nobody ever calls the agent's 10-digit number. And you can ask them, have you ever called a real estate agent off a yard sign? They're going to say, well, God, no, of course not. Right? Who does that? Nobody. But people do send a text, and then you get the phone. I will get the phone number, and I will be able to call them back immediately. So again, if you phrase and explain just briefly, you don't need to overdo it, but just a brief little thing like that, they're going to, right? That's when the head starts going like, yeah, right. Makes sense. Yeah, that's perfect. Now around mobile marketing, either one of these right here, ask them. If you didn't use the cover letter and you're just using this, ask them to pull out their phone, and you can do it together. Say, hey, why don't you go grab your phone and, do it for them, right? Do it so they can see, but then have them do it because you want this on their phone. You want this on their phone, right? See that? Mm-hmm. You get that on their phone, you are as good as gold. Doesn't matter which. Do the text IVR QR code, do the mobile marketing QR code. You do it first to show them it's safe and how easy it is, and then let them do it. All right. Satisfying, right? And if you don't get satisfying, if you know any 15-year-old or 16-year-olds or younger, ask them to show you some satisfying videos on YouTube, and they're actually very serene. Yeah, they're pretty fun. All right, we got QR codes. So we got QR codes used in various ways. Again, listing flyers, sign writers, other places that you may use them. All pointing to the beautiful single property website / virtual tour. We are going to, again, multi-channel or get your home across multiple channels, internet, email, print, and so on. And we don't do it just once. All right. We don't do it just once. When I market a home in Folsom, California, we don't do coming soon, but we will do just listed. And this is when, why I don't have it. Oh, I do actually. Right. So I'm going to get my notebook or my calendar. And I already know the answer to this question because I asked them in the pre-listing presentation interview that I assume most people do. And I'm going to know that today is June 26th, I believe, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. I know the seller wants to be moved by October. And I would have done this ahead of time. So I know there's June, there's July, August. Let's just say September. Let's say October is a little far off. So let's say they want to be out by September. So June 26th to July to August, September, it gives us really 2 months, 2.5 months. All right. To get this thing sold and closed. All right. Not just sold, not just in contract, but we want this thing closed escrow. So if you want to be out of the home by September 14th, that's about, oh my God, June, July, August. Let's say 2.5 months. Let's say 2.5 months.
Yeah.
All right. Average days on market. Average days on market right now is 20 days. What is it?
I say 42 days.
42 days. Okay. So 42 days. We're going to do a lot of great marketing. So really that range could be anywhere from, let's just say 35 to 50. Mm-hmm. Right, so 35 to 50. I don't want to put you in a position of, having to scramble and not be prepared. So I would, err more on the 50 side. The standard escrow is 30 days. So that's 80 days. And so that means if you want to be out by September 15th, so August 15th, July 15th, really, we need to be on the market by soon. All right. We really need to be on the market. And it's going to take us about a week. I do have the photography set up a tentative. So because again, I know you want to be out by early September. So I went ahead and I set a tentative photography setup or shoot for your home for if today's Thursday, for I would say Monday, right? So Monday is completely tentative. I can cancel it right now, but I did want to set that up just in case. Again, I know you want to be out of here pretty soon. So anyway, we should list this probably in the next 2 weeks at the latest. Then we're going to do an open house. I think your property would be, no, you can do open house or not. It's up to you. Do you do open houses? Then say you don't, or your home won't need it. But if you do, talk about doing an open house. It's going to attract a lot of great buyers. I've got the most amazing open house marketing plan, and we really showcase your home more than any other agent out there. I can talk to you about my open house marketing, and you can talk as much as you want about that. All right. Then after the open house, we'll be open to taking offers. So we want to do a little bit of marketing. We don't want to just take offers out of the gate. I want to build up a lot of market FOMO for your property. And that's why hopefully we can make sure we price your property correctly so that we get a lot of attention. If we price it too high, no one's going to be that interested in seeing it because it's just too expensive for what everything else is going for. So we're going to combine the most powerful marketing plan possible with a good price. And the goal is to be getting multiple offers and get people bidding up, all right, through our marketing efforts. So again, we'll do the open house a week after we list. We'll do some private showings if we need to for buyers that want to come back and see it with their agent one more time. Again, active market, the active days on market is around 43. So again, 30 to 50 on average. But I think with our marketing, and your property is beautiful, so I think we'll probably get it sold pretty quickly. But then we're going to be in escrow. So your property will be in contract. It'll be in the escrow / pending phase, hopefully between 21 to 30 days max. And that puts us in early September for getting you out of here and getting you moved on to your next home. And they're gonna be like this. They're like, oh, yeah, right. They're gonna be nodding the whole time, right? Because when they need to be out of there by, you will have prepared ahead of time. That, in fact, what I should do next time is I'll just write it down ahead of time so that you can see that that this is all thought out, right? I'm not making this up as I go along. And so that's the image, or the how you want to present it to the homeowner. Because again, they want to see your roadmap. They don't want to just willy-nilly this thing. This is a home. They got things to do after they sell it. So by you actively walking through these stages, even if you don't do coming soon and open houses, it doesn't matter. You're going to just list it. It's going to be active. It's going to be pending, and it's going to sell. And you need to get them through those stages and the timing and how it affects them and their life. That makes sense for everybody here? And if you're actually a little bit...
Can I ask a question? Should you just bring your listing agreement with you and the property disclosure?
You better.
Right?
You better. Yeah, I would bring everything that they need to sign with me. 100%. I know Michael Hellickson, the coach that we work with. I believe he's pretty big on, like, you don't leave the listing presentation until you get that thing signed, because once you leave,
you don't want to think about it. You just want them, let's go get this done.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in fact, Robin, I absolutely love that they even said that is awesome. So thank you for saying that. I print the checklist and do every item on it. I have talked to people that print the checklist and actually bring it to the listing presentation, which I'll show you that in a minute here. So after sold, I will keep you up to date with weekly traffic reports. I'll be checking in with you at least every week. More likely, it's going to be every couple of days, because we're going to have showings. We're going to have buyer requests. There's just going to be other things. So we're going to be in pretty regular contact. But at the worst, it'll be once a week until we get your home sold. And then lastly, here you can see if you've got this set up in Listings to Leads. If you don't, this won't appear, but if you do, it will. And that is my client review website, completely customizable. So again, even after I leave, they will be able to access and see how people love me. And then we got a few PDF guides, that they can download. In fact, let me scan. What did I do with my phone? Ah, there it is. So let me scan this QR. Let me make it bigger. And whoop. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna scan that QR code. I love scanning these because it's just, yeah, beautiful. 12 mistakes to avoid when selling your home. And so after I leave the listing presentation, right, I leave the PDF version. The PDF is the exact same thing as the flip book. So they're going through the PDF. It'd be really funny. Like at 3 a.m, all of a sudden I get a lead notification that somebody got the QR code scanned for this. Yeah, that actually would be pretty funny. I'm like, damn, dude, you're stressed. You're up early thinking about that. All right, so that is how I would present.
See, that's pitiful that you didn't have the listing agreement signed. You signed it, they will fall asleep and sleep peacefully.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so
so they have no decisions to make. They already made it.
Oh yeah, you went through all the marketing, the 100-point home marketing plan. You walk through the timing of the transaction based on when they want to be out of the property buy. It all made sense. You had them nodding all the way through if you do it the way we talked about. And yeah, that's why people always say this is a game changer to be able to have this.
Seriously, and yeah.
Well, the beautiful thing is for those of you that are not hitting 80% on your listing, there are people that 50% that literally it takes like 10 listing presentations to get 5 listings. With this, you're probably gonna be at like 95 or more, especially the more you do it.
Yeah, it really lays out essential checklist for you how to market their listing, right? Every step of the way. And you know what's interesting? I was talking to a few realtors. Remember, I want to market their listings. None of them do Facebook ads. Like, shocking.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
None of them do Facebook ads for their listings.
Oh, I know.
It's absolutely like bonkers to me.
Bonkers. Yeah, that YouTube guy. He always goes, "It's bonkers." I can't remember. Saw that real estate guy. He does it's always doom and gloom, right? It's always. In fact, today he had a video like. The headline is like 63,000 GM employees. So he does a lot of economics and real estate. Yeah. And he always start off, it's gonna be bonkers. All right. It's almost an hour. Goodness gracious almighty. All right. Anything you think we forgot or didn't talk about for this?
Obviously, yeah. I do have a question. You went in really detail into the listing presentation. If somebody go into meet the homeowner, how detailed do you want them to be? We know everyone's going to be different. I think you are going to be in front of the person. You're going to be able to get a feel for their energy, for just how they are as a person. How it is, right? In sales, I don't like to mirror people too literally, but I do want to understand their psyche and understand that, hey, some people, they want to talk. Other people, they just want the TLDR. They don't need every little tiny thing. And if you do the wrong thing to the wrong type of person, you're going to start turning them off. And so that's part of being a salesperson, I think, is just understanding the personality of the person you're dealing. And for most of us, it's pretty straightforward. We know who we're dealing with as we spend a few minutes with them. Right.
So yeah, I just say play it by ear.
Okay.
And oh my God, I'm getting so annoyed. We've got a massive.
I wanted people to really spend the important, there's certain sections in that listing presentation you really want to show off, right? The QR codes.
Yeah.
That's but the other stuff you kind of play by ear. Exactly.
Well, all right. To your point. All right. So, all right. Now that I understand your question a little bit better. All right. So let me. All right. We'll just use this one right here as an example. So let's say you get someone, they go, Scott, listen, I got to be out of here and I got 10 minutes. And you want to give 5 minutes for them to sign the damn listing agreement. So now you got like not even 5 minutes to go through this. What I would do, right? Again, We got a 100-point home marketing plan that's been benchmarked against the top teams and agents in the country, and from
I
that we
want to
prepared.
memorize that. Yes.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I have. Yeah. No, totally. In fact, I'll show you in your account where that is. But I'd kind of go with your, it's going to be everywhere. All right. Social media, print, direct mail, everywhere. So you can see here, it's going to be on Facebook. It'll be all over social media. We run multiple ads across the different stages of the listing, different statuses. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be beautiful. We got postcards, we got door hangers, we got letters. We're going to let all the neighbors know about your property being for sale, because a lot of times they're going to be able to bring in a buyer. We've got email marketing, both for our database. We're going to do reverse prospecting. So we're also going to be emailing the top agents in the area who've got buyers, so to make sure that their buyers know about your property. We are going to be sending you some tools to share as well, because you may know people who know people that want to move to the area. We're going to do short form videos to make sure that we attract not just people looking in Brentwood, but also people looking in adjacent areas that don't even realize how beautiful this neighborhood is. And they're not going to know it if they only are looking at the emails they get from their agent, because their agent's going to set them up to get a list of homes for sale only in Brentwood. And so your West Hollywood home, the short form videos will get in front of those people more often. We got the most beautiful full screen virtual tours and single property websites. We got listing flyers with amazing, beautiful domains like the one I got for your property here, 7800 Elm Drive .worldsbestlisting.com. Your property is going to be amazing on that domain, right? World's Best Listing. And then here's where I would still have them scan the QR code, all right? Whether I do it on the sign writer or the QR code there. I would mention we will have a sign. We will have the ability for buyers walking or driving by your property to both text and scan a QR code right from the yard sign. And we're going to generate more buyer leads from that, because when people scan or when people send a text, I will get their phone number and I will be able to call them back right away. It's like everything is mobile responsive. We got multiple QR codes being used in different places. It's going to be on everywhere that you can imagine. Your listing will be there. And then I would also want to make sure I go through this, even if it's just briefly. So again, understanding they're in a rush, they want to get out somewhere. I would still go through this. Again, I want them nodding. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I want to be out by the end of September. So if we list now, right, you get the idea. So yeah, just pay attention to their to their reactions, right? You'll know, because if they're not asking questions, then you're not going to need to answer them. But if they're the type of person that has to ask a million different questions, then I would take that as a positive, because it'll give you more to talk about. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Of course. Anything for you. All right. Anything else for anybody else? We got another minute left.
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. Has anybody on this call used the presentation yet, like this one, for expireds, FSBOs, or standard listing? No. And I say this too. I've said this a few times. We got that one client. They're in an office account. So under an office account, you get as many listings as you want. They literally, I haven't checked in a few weeks, but I've seen listings coming through. They've got over 200 to 300 listings in their account. Right. And they are adding like their entire farm as a listing presentation. And I believe they're sending the flip books to like every blippity blip homeowner in their farm.
Yeah. Right.
Or maybe it's all the homeowners in their database. It's one of the two. All I know is they got like 200 plus listing presentation status listings in their account. And I love it. It is so funny. Let's see here. Great question. Is there a way to see the virtual tours before posting them? Yeah. Yeah. So if I go to the listing dashboard, you will see when I click either market listing or the listing address. In fact, yeah, remember you had that same question a couple of weeks ago, right? So click market listing or the address, either one. And you see that address right there?
Mhm.
5530 Douglas Boulevard, Folsom, California. Property website, virtual tour. They're both the same thing. One is just the photos will pan and zoom, the virtual tour. It doesn't even matter to me because I got a video. And then the other, so here's the virtual tour. So in my case, because I've got a video above the fold, it's the exact same thing. But if you didn't, like if you're like most people, you're just going to have images right here. So in the virtual tour, the images will do like a slow pan and zoom. And the single property website, they're static. They don't move.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but again, man, check this out. I've got the video. I've got professional photos. I got a 3D tour. I've got a community video. My
Oh,
100-point home marketing plan. Yeah.
really good.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. You know what? So you know what Twyla's asking. In fact, I had a call with a client the other day. I
This is
want
exactly what you fixed for me yesterday.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
we're going to add the version here that doesn't have the pop-up at all that you can use. So it's almost like maybe if I want to send it to another agent, I don't need them, right, filling out the form.
Yeah,
But let
yeah.
me show you. I'm sorry. If you go, so Twyla, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. To fix that for now, go to edit. Now I'll show you where you can fix this for all of your listings if you wanted to. But if you go to preferences, right there, forced registration. I'm not big on forced registration, so I turn it off. But let me show, but some people are sticklers. They want it. All right. They want
Okay.
that forced registration. Let me show you, I believe, I'll show you at the account level so you can do all of your listings this way.
Remember I was having this conversation with you yesterday? I'm like, now I understand why you're doing that. And
Yeah.
somebody was asking the same question, like, okay, I'm glad now
Oh
you're
yeah,
telling me.
totally. And like I said, I need to get this live to where there will be a button. Essentially, it's going to be like single property website, no pop up, right? No lead form.
Yeah. The
And
little things.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, yeah, and again, all right. So here's how you do it for all of your listings. Go to settings. So right here. So let me back up. I'm on the listings. All right, all your listings are right here, and there's listing presentation. This is the general one for your entire account. More tools. Agent website. Some really cool tools if you haven't looked at these, and then settings. And under settings, go to you're right there. Preferences. All right. Scroll down.
I just
Forced
unchecked that.
registration, not closable without filling out. Uncheck it. And I like to go to or here's sometimes what people do 60 and then leave it forced, thinking well, hey, if they're going to hang up for that long, they should. Or maybe I even do 100, 120, 180. And so that way I can look at it without having any problem. Most people can look at it without any problems. But for the people that let it sit there for like a day or something, you know how it is, right? You got tabs open all over the place. And then later you come back to it and you see the lead form has popped up. Now you're going to have to fill it out to keep looking at it. But for 90% of the people, they'll be good to go. Yeah.
Did you address the question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Not the expired. Wait, I'm sorry. I feel like I missed something.
No, she asked, I got an automated feed of listings in my zip, but can I use them if they do not allow to advertise? It's a field in our MLS. So
okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah, Robin, but please get into the. I love a lot of your questions, Robin. So I'd love to get you into the mastermind group. Mention some of the things you're mentioning here. I think your insights and some of the things you're doing might be very illuminating for other people. I think it'd help out a lot of people. I can say things 7 ways to heaven, and most agents will ignore it. But when another agent says it, then every agent's going to be like, wow, that's amazing. So coming from you, it'd be a blessing for a lot of these agents out there. So definitely get in there. And, for things like this. I'd love to learn more about it and actually help you out if I can, by all means. So yeah, make sure. And let me just show everybody as we end it. If you go to Marketing Calendar, this is where all of our resources are. So Marketing Calendar. I'm not going to talk about the Marketing Calendar right now, but what I want to show you is resources. And if you're not in our mastermind group, click join group. Get your little self over to the mastermind group where you're going to see questions like that. Actually, Lynn, that was kind of nice. In fact, you're kind of getting into this a little bit more. I just want to share, I started a drip campaign in listings to leads. A mass email was sent for the immediate ones. So far, a good open rate. It's easy to set up. I use ChatGPT for the steps. I think she's talking about the individual emails. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what she sent out. Oh, I think she was sending out like she was creating a separate campaign for Facebook ads or something. Yeah. So anyways, yes, Brian Matheson's comment about taking that listing, the expired presentation and door knocking with it. All right, a lot of great stuff in there. Instagram, we're gonna get better on Instagram, all right? Yeah, we're gonna get better with Instagram. I promise you. Yi and I have been talking about it.
Instagram also, actually the Google ads too. There's some.
Well, no. I'm talking about what we post up to Instagram.
Oh, gotcha.
And TikTok. Yeah, we've been, man. Anyways, YouTube. So you can see right now we're live on YouTube. And if you want to watch these recordings, go to live. This could be scary. This is like occupying the same dimension twice or something. I don't know. But here you're going to see all of our previous lives that we've done. Now, some will say upcoming. And then some you'll see here, right? Like that's the one that we did for FSBO and new construction. Old leads from last night that we did, right? Facebook ad strategy. So yeah, that's where you can find all of the previous YouTube lives that we did. And there's just training videos, the other webinars, and so on. All right, listen, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go jump in the pool. It's only 6:07 California time, and it is a warm day. So I'm going to go jump in the pool real quick.
Oh, I'm going to go order the sushi.
Right. Yes. All right. All right, everybody, get to the mastermind group. Let us know what you're having for dinner. And if you need any help, let us know. We'd love to make sure that you're, nailing it on all cylinders with this. And have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.